Hello there. Welcome to our discussion today. I'm really excited to get into this long discussion about something I'm extremely passionate about. My name is Peter Din, and I'm a performance coach and a consultant for entrepreneurs, athletes, and people that are professionals who hunger to reach their fullest potential. Over the last decade, I've dug deep and have been on the search to find the best tools possible in order to optimize myself. I went through a lot of struggles as an entrepreneur myself, owning 2 to 3 businesses. And on that journey came a lot of hardships, as a lot of you have already experienced as well. I studied all of the modern coaches from Tony Robbins to Alistair McDonald. I learned about flow state optimization from Steve Kotler, and I've even incorporated the most modern advanced functional medicine testing available to allow myself to understand my own biochemistry and neurochemistry. With these tools that are available to me, I've created a framework that allows us to tap into that potential. And today, we're going to talk about, drum roll please, we will talk about energy. What is energy? Energy is a foundational core principle that no one really tries to dissect and think about. We just think about, oh, do I have energy or do I not have energy? So today we're going to do a deep dive on the framework that I use for my clients in order to help them reach their own full potential. And I'm really excited about it because it's the one thing that has probably given me and gotten me to where I am today. So, when thinking about energy, we always talk about how there's 3 different types of category of energy in terms of this framework. So, energy is either created, it's either destroyed, or it's converted in the human body. Now, I could talk at lengths, 10 hours plus, over each of these 3 topics. So I will spare you that length, and today we'll talk about one thing. We'll talk about how is energy converted within yourself, okay? The reason why I want to talk about that today is because I think it's the thing that you have most control over, and I think it's the thing that will give you the most yield in our discussion for today. So the Triforce of energy, just as a review, energy is created, it's destroyed, or it's converted. And we will talk about that conversion, okay? Now, there's a couple, 4 different types or qualities of energy. Some are obvious to you. One is physical energy. The second thing is emotional energy. The third thing is mental energy. And the last one is spiritual energy. In my study and in my own practice, I've discovered another form of energy. What we like to call it in our practice, our functional medicine practice, we call this synaptic synergy. It is the 5th form of energy that combines all 4 states of energy where you and your body are fully aligned. Okay? Sounds like a bunch of voodoo, but hopefully I'll do a good job explaining to you today. Let me ask you a few questions to kind of stimulate some thoughts. When you go about your day, is your environment in every minute and every second adding to your energy, or is it taking away from your energy? As you go to work, are there people and are there tasks that really kind of steal your soul? Like you just, after talking to that one person, Jill, I am just exhausted. Like I don't enjoy it and I wish I didn't do that. Are there certain tasks that you do that really steal your mental capacity away? I know on a simplistic basis, I know that, for me, I can't stand folding clothes. It's like a soul just kind of leaves me. I just kind of lie down and I can't move anymore. It's almost like it uses 2 times the energy compared to, and my wife loves it, compared to like taking out the trash, right? I don't mind it at all. I can do it all day, not a problem. Wifey asks it, I'm game for it. But for my wife, it takes a lot of energy for her. So in these examples, these are some examples of how energy can be taken away from you and how the efficiency of your energy spend is something to pay attention to. Okay. So just as a summary, synaptic synergy is basically the alignment of all four energies such that it creates a new form of energy where you can basically go out through the world and it's not difficult. You kind of made things easier for yourself. Now, of course, there's going to be difficulties, but you're able to have a mindset and a mental awareness and control that you can convert that into a more positive experience. It's the alignment of all of these things that allow you to tap into the synaptic synergy, okay? So, in order to achieve and access this type of energy, there are kind of four gateways, four alignment keys that allow you to get through the entire thing. Key number one is detection. Number two is sentiency. Number three is transmutation. And number four is the biochemical or biochemistry, okay? Detection. We define detection, my wife and I, we define detection as your ability to sense the level of your energy, basically your energy meter. Now we know that there's four types of energy, so how well are you able to tap into your physical energy? If I ask you, hey, how do you feel physically? Are you able to say, yes, I feel X, Y, and Z? You can give me a number and it just comes out easily. You'll be surprised. A lot of our clients that are entrepreneurs, for example, a lot of our clients aren't able to detect certain parts of their emotional energy. They'll describe their day-to-day as, I woke up and I got through the day and then I was just exhausted. I don't know why. And when you ask and probe further, there's like a degree of detail that's required in order to kind of get to the next level. Kobe Bryant talks about detail all the time in his basketball. I read a story recently where he sprained his ankle. He's trying to figure out how to strengthen his ankle. He took up tap dancing. Saw that the other day. It was a big surprise. So in order to level up your ability to grow your energy, you have to be able to detect it. And you have to be able to detect it at will whenever you want. So another example is, when you get triggered, you're very angry, you kind of have an out-of-body experience. You're not exactly fully present. So part of detection is your ability to stay present to that energy and give like an energy score, okay? So that's detection. The second thing is sentiency. Sentiency is basically your ability to sense the different energy states and describe the exact experience with a high degree of accuracy. Back to the example of the person that isn't able to detect what they've been feeling. I'm thinking of one of our clients, we'll call him Jack. When you ask him to describe his anxiety, he describes it as an experience in which something just feels kind of heavy. In an individual like Jack, I would say that his degree of sentiency is not very high. He isn't able to detect the different types of energy, and he can't go deep of how anxious he is or how stressed he is. He believes it to be an on or off button. He doesn't know the thoughts that goes through his mind when he has these feelings either. So what is your ability to describe the thoughts, feelings, and emotions around the different types of energy? Like, what is your relationship with it? The third form of alignment, the alignment key, I call it transmutation. All right. Transmutation is your ability to screen and convert the different forms of energy from an interaction or experience. It's a lot of mindset. So back to the example of spending time with people that you don't particularly enjoy. We've all had a number of people in our life that we had to ask ourselves, do I really want to spend 3 hours with this person on a Saturday? in this example, a person that asks the question and then chooses not to spend that type of time is a person that is highly efficient in their conversion of energy. Let's say that you interact with a person that you really love, and then you've identified exactly what they give you. I have one friend that I go to one friend because he gives me a lot of knowledge on business. I have another friend that gives me a lot of knowledge on his connection to family. I like how he is very intentional about showing up to his family and taking his kids on Disney cruises. If I ever need to know what activities or events to do, I just hit him up and he gives me something, a great gift, for example. So in these examples, an individual like this is trying to spend the time in which the environment and the people around him give him or her a lot of energy. I would say that his transmutation process is at a high level. Other things that show up are things like, are you living out the things that you're passionate about? I realized really late in life, I played soccer for about 30 years at a pretty high level. And I realized by the end of my entire journey that I didn't particularly like soccer. I just kind of did it because that's what I grew up with. And I realized that the things that I loved about soccer was reaching my full potential, going all out, competition. But what I didn't realize is that I can find those types of things in other sports and activities as well. I'm doing other things now that kind of give me a little bit more fulfillment in terms of my hobbies. So asking questions like, how much do I really love this activity that I'm doing? So this is all in the category of transmutation. How well are you able to convert all of the negative things into positive things, and how aligned are you in doing those things that feed your soul and feed you? Okay. The last thing is the biochemical. The biochemical portion is basically the foundation of nutrition. It's the foundation of the nutrients that you put in your body, and it's the foundation of all of the metabolites and chemical reactions that exist in your body. With modern and advanced functional medicine testing now, we now know that there's a lot more going on than we thought. For example, the obvious examples are, hey, are you eating foods that are healthy for you? I mean, that's like everyone knows this, right? But as you also know, it's extremely difficult to keep that in practice, right? But let's go one step deeper. Let me ask you a question. How efficient do you break down your protein? When you eat a piece of meat, bean, or any protein source, how efficient do you break it down? Do you know the answer to that? How efficient do your mitochondria function? For those science geeks out there, you guys know what that is. For those that are not science nerds like myself, mitochondria is basically the powerhouse that exists in all of your cells. These are the things that create your own energy. So, how well do your mitochondria function? We now know that in neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, for example, there's a lot of discussion about how there's no cure and there's nothing you can do and yada, yada, yada. With advanced testing now, we actually know now that one of the core reasons why a person goes down that pathway is because their mitochondria function has stopped working. And they typically stop working in the nerve cells. There's a lot of good treatments out there now for things like that. And so learning about the functional medicine with my wife has been a life-changing event for myself, because I didn't realize that I myself had some issues that I needed to work on. So in the realm of biochemistry, we can go super deep on it, but long story short, it's basically, do you know all of the chemical reactions and the metabolites that make up your neurotransmitters that allow you to have energy, or that allow you to have the perception of energy? For example, we know that dopamine is very connected to willpower. If you don't have dopamine, You don't have willpower, so you never feel like doing anything. Everything feels difficult. Or, for example, are you low in serotonin? Serotonin is the neurotransmitter that allows you to feel happiness and fulfillment. For myself, I had a lot of really tough times a couple years into dental practice ownership. Back in the day, a number of years ago, I had just owned my second dental practice. I had a baby on the way. And at the time, I didn't realize, I had a lot of stresses and I was trying to grow my business, but I didn't know why I couldn't control myself to do the things that I actually wanted to do. And of course, everyone has a degree of this type of experience. And I thought it was normal. I thought it was completely normal to have this experience. And at the time, I was like, okay, I just kind of interpret this as low energy, and here are my solutions. Let me wake up at 4 o'clock every single day and try to go for a run outside so that I can increase my energy, aka my physical energy. Let me take a cold shower because I heard that just gives you energy. Later on in life, I found out that it actually increases serotonin and dopamine. This is the biochemical energy component to it. Let me sit down and meditate for 20 minutes. Little did I know that this helped my emotional fortitude, emotional energy, spiritual energy, and mental energy, depending on how I meditated. But what I confused was I thought I was just trying to increase overall energy. And so as you get more detailed with the diagnosis of what you're going through, you can basically cater the actions specifically to what you're missing. At the time, I wish I had some more tools available to me because life was very stressful. I had a baby on the way. I would go to sleep at night just having thoughts of how am I going to afford supporting my wife and soon to come child. I had team members leaving me, and it was extremely draining. I didn't know if I was going to make payroll at times. And so my answer for all of this is let me try to increase energy more so that I can show up better. It definitely helped when I went through these experiences, but I was solving for the wrong thing. Good news is a lot of my issues were solved because I increased my overall energy capacity. So knowing what I know now, I think if you can try to figure out ways to categorize this and use these tools in your day-to-day, you're going to be much better off than how I was trying to just stumble through and figure things out. And so just as a summary, we went through the triforce of energy of how energy is created, it can be destroyed, or it can be converted. Today, we talked about that conversion process, which we call synaptic synergy. Okay? And synaptic synergy represents the four energies, the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, being combined into a superior form of energy. Okay? In order to access that energy, you go through the four gateways, the four alignment keys to access these doors. Number one, you have the detection portion of it. Number two, you have sentiency. So detection being your ability to see your energy meter in the different forms. Sentiency being your skill of describing and your relationship with the experience of each of those feelings as you go through it, the quality and quantity of those feelings, basically. The third is the transmutation process, your ability to convert energy, your ability to convert the negative experiences into positive experiences, your ability to spend time living in people, places, and things that give you energy and also remove the things that take away your energy. And then the last thing is the biochemistry, which is understanding how you function on a microorganism level, the gut bacteria that lives inside you, the metabolite level, the neurotransmitter level, and all of the chemical reactions that go through it. In order to access those things on the biochemical, you need to have some functional medicine testing in order to access those things. So that is the summary. And the last thing that I'll leave you with is that within the framework that I use with my clients, with this new form of energy, there's new techniques of how you deploy it. And the thing that we try to target and we try to create with this new form called Synaptic Synergy, we try to create a situation called infinite positive reinforcement loops. Basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a minute-by-minute action plan that allows you to constantly have good and positive reinforcement feedback that allows you to constantly grow in one direction. You show up, you're absorbing the entire environment around you. It's giving you energy. You have the mindset that allows you to convert the negative into the positive. And you create a number and sets of experiences that you plan out so that it constantly feeds you what you need and what you want to be fed, so that you grow and evolve in the direction that you want over time, such that all you have to do is show up. Infinite positive reinforcement loops, AKA if you just show up, life gets better. But it needs to be intentional, and it requires a lot of reflection and a lot of alignment in each of these categories. Thank you for your time today, and I look forward to our next discussion, which talks about the tools in which we level up each of these 4 categories so that you can achieve synaptic synergy. What are the things and what are the activities or what are the exercises can I do to grow each of these things so that I can tap into this higher form of energy? Thank you. And again, I am Peter Din. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.